Hey everyone, my name's Tash and I'm an artist based in the UK. Thanks so much for coming through to this video today. Today we are going to paint this gorgeous daisy painting. It's very abstract and lovely and splashy and lots of fun. So we're going to have lots of fun with it today. For this I have a range of blues that I have. Just use what you have. I have put out deep turquoise, phthalo blue, cerulean blue, and Prussian blue. I also have out cad yellow. It's a deep cad yellow, the burnt sienna and the burnt umber. There's white, titanium white, and there's a sap green, which I put separately just because it's a different type of paint from the others, and I ran out of room, and black, and that should be the only colours we need. If we do need any more as we go through, then we can add it. It's fine. I'm using an 8x8 canvas, so it's nice and small. I don't want to do too many big projects anymore. Try and keep them small and quick. We need a heat tool or a hairdryer for in between the layers. You'll need some water. Mine is over here out the way. I have got a spray bottle as well, just in case the paints start to dry up at all. As acrylics, you will need to move quite fast as they do dry really quickly. I have some angle brushes, which I just tend to use a lot. I love angle brushes. And I've got filbert brushes, which are basically like flat brushes but with a curve at the end. I've got a range of sizes. Again, just use what you have. You can still create really great paintings with the bare minimum. It's all good. Flats, I think I'll use, let's see. I have got some newish brushes here. I think I'll use the flats just to get the surface covered, and we can work from there. I think I will actually use my new brushes. Hang on one sec. I basically just swapped over my brushes because I've got these new ones and they are short brushes, and I do like to use long brushes as well, but as we're doing a small painting, I don't really think it matters too much. So I am just going to mix with the brush on the palette, so you need to make sure there's quite a bit of water on your brush. Oh, and also have a rag that you can just stick on your lap and brush off any paint. So that's how I like to do it. You can just have it on the table, resting there, wherever you like. Now to start with, I want to make some blues, some aquas and some greens just to go in the background. But obviously we don't want anything too harsh. So this is Prussian blue, which is a very dark blue. So we're just going to add some white. This will be our darkest blue that will be on there. I don't want to lighten it too much, so I'm just spreading in as much as I think I need just to have that dark colour there. So that's nice. So let's get that all mixed in. It's a bit stodgy, I must admit, because I've let the air get into the tube and it's quite an old one. I don't tend to use Prussian blue that much. It is quite a dark blue. Right, there's still quite a bit in my brush there, so I better give it a really good wash out. Can I just say, please do follow, please do subscribe wherever you're watching this. Also repost and share. It really helps to get to new audiences, especially as I am relatively new. I have been doing it for a while now, but in terms of comparisons to other art channels, I would say I'm pretty new still. Okay, so that's like a nice sky blue. I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow, just see what that does, see what sort of green we get. Okay, that's a nice green. Okay, so we know mixing yellow into that blue gives us that nice kind of aqua green. I like that. Okay, so we know that. I just like to play around before I start and make sure I've got all, I can see where I'm going to get all my colours from. So we've got phthalo blue, which is lovely on its own, but we don't want it to be that dark. Okay, it's similar but not the same. It really isn't as a cerulean. It's got a slight, I don't know how to describe it. slightly more of a turquoise feel to it. Okay, we can lighten it up so that it's more sky blue if we want to. Okay, that's nice. And we've got the turquoise here. I'm just going to bring that further down because we don't want to run out of space. I like to be quite organised about my palette so I know what I'm coming back to. And that's a really lovely colour. We'll be using probably quite a lot of that, I think. Okay. So then we've got the browns and the orange and the yellow, which is quite self-explanatory, but we don't need those yet anyway. We have, of course, got the green here. Excuse my cat in the background. It's on the window ledge, enjoying being harassing the birds. If you can hear him, he's, yeah, he's on morning bird harassment mode. Okay, so I have actually drawn out the space where the daisy's on, and I don't really know why I did that because, in all honesty, we're not going to be needing it. I'm going to come in. I'm not going to worry about the edges until afterwards. And we're just kind of going to make splodges of the different colours all around. See, I really like that green, that's nice, but we want to whiten it up a bit more. That's nice. And we want to see that there's all those strokes of different colours of blues and greens in there. That's nice if we can keep some of that. Try not to brush too much of it out because it just looks beautiful. Now remember, I'm using the image as a prompt. We do not have to be as perfect as that. We can do whatever we want. Just going to wash. Keep washing in between if you don't want to mix the layers too much. And we need to dry in between. So do an area and dry. And with this darker blue, and just put some more bits here. I can see that it is a bit darker up here. So let's make it a bit darker. I have put black out. So if we really wanted to make some dark, very dark colour, we could add the black, but actually with Prussian blue, with it already being so dark, we shouldn't really need to. So we're just going to build up the layers of the back by laying down colour in patches, drying it. I don't want to blend it, I want to dry it and then come back over. So all I did just then while drying one area is I went in with some lighter green in another area. So what I'd like now is some more of this turquoise colour. It's deep turquoise. We want it to be a little lighter than it is naturally, then it comes out of the bottle. And we're just gonna splash it around into different areas. Go over some like that, because that's the type of background we're wanting to make. Now the image you see is a watercolour version, so it's not going to look exactly the same anyway. Are you talking to me, Louie? Did you hear my cat then? He's almost having a chat. So let's get some of these colours in. Now here I think I'm going to go, I think we will have the turquoise here. I'm just patching it in different places and we're layering. With again, but with a lot more white on the brush. Just dipped it in white there. Don't want to ruin what we already have, so. There, it's coming out really nice and patchy. It's going to be a really nice fun background. I think we'll do some of this blue with some white. It's not that much different to the phthalo blue really, but it's fine. We can work with that. And we can just kind of skim over what we've already done with different colours. Make sure you're washing out your brush regularly. We don't want too much sort of contamination of the colours. I've tried to keep them quite separate. What should we do now? Let's have a think. This side should be a lot lighter than that side. So I am going to come over with some white, just white, and kind of just patch it in. Because the light seems to be coming from this direction. You don't want to cover up too much of that lovely light green that we've got. In fact, I might put some more of that down. We'll go over the green here because it's quite dark there. We want to patch some more in. So as you can see, we're getting a really lovely, nice patchy background now. Just going over all the areas with different colours. Now the light does shine on it, which gives it a shimmer because it is acrylic. So let me see if I move that. It's not... Trying to get the right light for acrylics is tricky. Move that maybe down a bit. It's a bit better, isn't it? Let's come in with some more of that Prussian blue, because this side is darker, and just mark in some of that lighter with a bit of the white. But then, yes, I know, Lily. Okay, I'm just going to go and open the door for my cat. Okay, so the cat is now outside, out of the way, because he was being very annoying. Let's put some more dark down here. And we're just going over, and you can see like the patch of the canvas, and I just think that's lovely to have that. We don't need to be worrying about that. It's part of the texture. It's part of the joy of having a painting. I mean, I could have just done one plain background. I could have gone just light green and just done the whole thing. But I love to try new things, and I think sort of doing this has helped me to break out of that shell. Doing these patchy backgrounds has made me be a bit more confident about exploring and just having a go at new things. So now I'm just picking the colour up randomly, and I'm going to swap to a smaller brush so that we have smaller marks. So let me find a smaller straight there. No, actually, I'm going to go with an angle brush. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So we can get some different shapes coming into our background. Smaller shapes. So we can come over other areas with just a much smaller imprint brush stroke. When I'm working, you'll find I use all the wrong words for everything because I'm just focusing. Trying to focus on the art as well as talking. So if I say the wrong word, just ignore me. Okay. I think I'm going to come in with some of this lovely turquoise. And just literally just making small marks, making sure my canvas is full. All the tooth of the canvas is covered. And it looks nice, and it looks nice and patchy. I think maybe not too happy about that bottom corner, so let's maybe just dull some of that really dark blue down a bit. That's better. And I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there. Just keep adding bits in. Maybe we could go for just white at times and just do like that. This side is the lighter side, so as I've said, we can come in here with the white and it's going to be fine. And it is nice just to have that white here and there, just tickled in almost. Got a tiny bit on my brush and I'm just popping it in different places. And then it kind of gives the reality of light and dark in different places. It's like a blurred out background. Blues and greens, which you would get in a garden. Okay, I think we're done. So I'm going to dry the whole thing now. Right, I'm just going to pause one moment and get some water. Okay, I have some fresh water. It's all good. And I was just thinking this could be a good time if you wanted to paint the edges. Do that now so that it's all nice and in all those blues. And you can just choose one colour. In fact, I might pause you and I'll just do it now. Saves you having to watch. Okay, edges are done. I did them in the turquoisey colour because I really like that. I have a soft spot for turquoise. I just love that colour. Okay, so now what we need to do is kind of map out the middle, I would say the centre of our flowers. And obviously they're going to be mainly yellow, but we're going to layer them up like we have with that background. I'm going to use kind of a mid-size round. This is size 6, no, not round, sorry, filbert, but it has the nice round end. So I'm literally just going to come in with the almost as it is. We're going to add a little bit of yellow because it is quite transparent. So we're adding a little bit of white. And I'm going to put the first flower about here. We're just going to go in and draw that circle and we're going to build up the petals and we're going to build up the centre of that flower slowly. Oops, I had a blob on that one. That's okay. So as you can see, yellow is quite transparent. You can see through to the underneath. So we have to make sure there is enough paint down there. Now there isn't any on the ones down here. That's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of the burnt sienna to that yellow. And then, oh, dry first. Make sure we dry first. This is a slightly darker yellow, so we can come in and just create a little bit of a dark shadow underneath. I've just realised that up here there is another one that I've missed. So it'll be about there because it's on its side. It's going to be longer like this one down here, which is also on its side. Okay. So you can see there we've started to get the sense of depth with the different yellows. We also now need to get some white and mix it in with the yellow to really lighten it up in some areas. And we're just going to kind of splodge it in places in the centre. We're not going to worry too much about it. We're going to put it more in the where the top of the flower is. So do that at least, but otherwise don't worry too much. So that was yellow with white. Now what I'm going to do is actually come in with the brown, and what we're going to do is create some depth. Just put a bit of brown at the bottom, and that's the shadow. That's the shadow we're saying here. Down here is where it's dark. So we're always thinking about what we're trying to say to the person looking at the picture. So we're saying, here is the shadow, here is the light. So then I'm going to dip it straight into the white, pure white, dry first. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of dot some white bits in like that. You can put a little bit here as it is in the picture. Could you change to a different brush if you want to? I just happen to just stayed with this. I just like the shapes the filberts make. Maybe have a little bit of highlight just where that brown is. You need to make sure you've got it on the paint on your end of your brush. There we go. And a bit there. So we're still being quite abstract with our movement, with our detail. We're not being hyper detailed. It's just a fun representation. Now what we need is our angle brush. There's a hair coming out there. Let me just get rid of that. Otherwise it's going to paint like that. So if there's a rogue bristle, just snip it away. Okay. For this, we are going to draw in the stems now, because then we can draw the flowers over the stems and we'll have everything roughly in the right place. So we're coming in with the green with a little bit of white to start with, just to get the main colour down. And we're just going to come down here. One stem done. Then we're going to come... So this one would need a stem. We're not going to see it, but I'm going to put it in anyway, and then we can go over it. Okay, so that's going to come there. Then we've got one here. There's also one here. Don't know why there's quite so many stems in it actually, but I think it's just because there are other flowers that are kind of faded into the background. And at the end of the day, we don't have to copy what's on there. So this is the bottom of this one. And I'm just using the edge of the brush to place, and then to place the stem, and then also to place the bottom of the flower. Okay. Right, and then we've got one here. I just want to say at this point that I do daily art activities, quick daily activities. This is obviously just a once a week longer activity. There are sheets on my website that you can download at home. There is a small fee. They are colouring sheets, they're drawing outlines, they're things you'll need to follow along. You don't have to use them, of course. That's purely your decision. Right, I'm going over these stems now with the white. As you can see, I'm still using this angle brush. I'm not being too detailed about where I am and where I'm going with that. Just going over it roughly. There's a bit of white on my brush. There's less on it now. And I'm just placing them in. So it looks like all the flowers are kind of coming from this direction and bursting out. This one has quite a bit of light here. So I suppose if the light's coming from that direction, it's hitting it well. Good. I just need the green up here for this one. So let's put that in. We'll play around with that afterwards. We'll add a darker green, lighter green. Just trying to get the general shape in for now. Now what we're going to do is swap to our round again. But I think we need a slightly smaller one. We're doing our petals. Let's have a look. That must be that one. That looks a bit smaller. It's a 4. Excuse me while I take my time. I don't tend to plan too much because I enjoy just working and being in the flow and making decisions as I go. So I've got some smaller brushes. I've got a smaller angle brush there and a smaller filbert brush for doing the petals, the different size petals. Now the petals have got lots of colour on them, but what I'm going to do to start with is just use the white. See if I can actually get any pure white in there. May have to lay some more down. Right, and we're just going to come in now and just literally, you can turn your brush. We're just putting the petals in like that. Make sure there's enough on the end because that's the bit where it creates the shape. I have put far too much paint on my brush. trying to get to the white. And this is where you'll start to see it just kind of come to life. Just have fun and put those petals down. They don't have to be the same as they are on there. Just put them wherever you want them. As long as they are kind of coming from the centre and outwards, then I'd say you're all right. There we go. Might just do some more little ones. And what we can do, we're going to add colour as we go, because they're not going to be just plain white. They're going to be all sorts of shades. What we'll do is do that once it's dried. I'm going to lay down all of the petals first that I want to lay down. Be careful, because like that's getting too chunky rather than those nice slim ones. So maybe I will swap to a smaller round. I'll get some more water to make sure the white lays down nice, and that's better. Yeah, that's better. The other one was too big. I thought it might have been, but you never know. Okay, not too much water, because look, that's going a bit kind of transparent. And make sure that your petals are opaque so that we don't see through them, but we're going to go over them again anyway. Then we've got one down here, and we're going to have the petals coming out to the side more on this one, and we're going to have some that come up from here and out because it's on its side. So we need to bear that in mind. We can get some longer ones coming out again. There we go. And it's the kind of free and abstract feel of this that makes it, that really just tells a really lovely story of nature, I think, you know, and the flowers in the background. It's just gorgeous. Nature is gorgeous. And just kind of angle the brush the direction you kind of want the flowers to go in. So here we're gonna use in the side of the brush, even though it's a filbert. I'm just going to carry on with this brush because I've already got like the white on there and we're using it. We're just going to put in some petals like that. And then here, this is more of a bud. So it's just kind of just one little colour there. So that's them all done. Now what we can do is come in now and just add some other colours to the petals, and it just gives it that little bit of realism, that little bit of depth, because when we have white in the world, it kind of reflects other colours that are around it. So we're just, hopefully you can see that. I know it's shining a bit, isn't it, the light? Don't think that makes any difference. And we'll just, oh, that was too much, but that's okay. We can put it right because we just add the white again, like so. It's absolutely fine. So we've added a bit of blue to them. Let's add a little bit of the yellow. Okay. So we're just doing that over the top just to give it some depth. And this is a really nice, quick painting to do. Obviously, it's not as quick as like the daily things that we do, but it is quite a nice, quick painting that still looks really effective. The fun bit's going to be when we splash at the end. I always love to splash at the end. So we need some yellow again. I've got to watch, I'm getting paint everywhere and I don't want to get it on my clothes. I am a very messy painter, so I get it everywhere. Just changed my rag so that I don't get too covered in paint. Right, we're just going to do that there. Then this one here has more white on it. So now really I'm just going in and just adding bits here and there that I want to change before I do like the final sploshes and things. You could just come in and maybe create some more of these kind of leafy shapes. I think I need to change for that. I'm going to change anyway because I want to add a little bit of this green colour to this daisy up here. And I've messed up that yellow now. Still had green on my brush. So we only want a really light yellow. That's nice. So I'm just going to kind of lay a bit of yellow in that as well. Maybe even bring some yellow into the stems. And I said I was going to kind of do something with these, didn't I? Let's get some more white. And we'll have a really light white. Even though there's a bit of yellow on there, that's fine. And we're just going to come over it again. Just to add dimension, we've got that nice dark green underneath, and then there's a bit of light green on top. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So now we can just go ahead and add in some sploshes. We like sploshes. Now I am going to use a small... do you know what? Let's try using the round brush. Let's see how it comes out. I'm not always good with the round brush, right? Anyway, so we're going to just do some blobs, quite big blobs, and then we'll do the splashes at the end. We're going to try and do some little dot ones and just dot it around everywhere, like so. And we want to do it all over. And that's what finishes it off. I'm going to add some more white to this one down here while I've got this kind of finer brush, and just lighten it up a bit more. And the same over here. Because you're layering over the white, it looks more vibrant because you're laying the white onto the white and not just onto the colour underneath. So like up here, it can be a bit transparent for the first layer. I did say I was going to go over them, didn't I? But I didn't want to spoil it. I kind of liked that first attempt of getting the petals in, and you don't want to ruin it. I would say this one down here needs it most. Needs a lot more white on this one. So we're just coming in. Oh, I think the door's going. Hang on 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Right. So I am going over the white with the white to make it more white. You usually do, if you've got a really dark background and you're painting white on top of that, you usually have to. Because it will have a certain level of transparency. But it's nice to go over it anyway and layer it, because you then get different kind of patterns and shapes. And I don't want to take away from the fastness of that motion. It's given the picture some action, so I don't want to fiddle with it too much. I think I'm done. Let's just keep going with the dots everywhere, because that's fun and it looks good. Okay, so we've got some quite big ones. Now I'm just going to use the tip and try and get some little ones in as well. We'll get the really tiny ones in when we do splashes at the end, but I wanted to make sure I got some definite marks down that I really wanted. Okay. I think some more white here, just lots of little ones. I'm going to do a few little clusters of the tiny ones. because that looks quite pretty. Yeah, it does. As you can see, I really am making it up as I go along, and I think it's important to do that because sometimes that's when you have your most creative moments. Don't plan. The only planning I did really was getting that picture and designing that picture, and then choosing the colours and the paints, and the rest just happens. Right, so we're going to need some more of the light yellow. Really want some more of this. So we're going to come in and do some quite big round dots. Some nice big round dots. There we go. And then smaller ones as well. Make sure it's in a nice point. Don't need too many, because we've already got quite a few of the white ones. And then I want to choose a blue, and we'll do a few blue ones as well. So we'll go for this one. This one is the Phalo blue with some white. And we're going to have to do that on top of the colours that obviously aren't Phalo blue. That are a bit darker. Otherwise you won't see it. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done. So now I'm just going to do some proper splashes. So for this I'm going to use a large round brush. See what my largest is. I think it's that one. This one, we want to get it really wet. And we're going to make a very watery white colour here. It's got to be very watery, otherwise the splashes won't come off the brush and you'll just get big blobs of paint coming off. What you want is watery blobs. I'm just going to practice. That's nice. Okay. And you also want to change the direction of where you're doing it. See, I've got a nice little splidgy bit there. I like those proper little splodges. And then you really have that movement in the flowers because you've got all this wild sploshy bits. Bit more water. Just do a few more. Again, down the middle. And then I'd say we're done, because you don't want to ruin it with having too many splashes. I'm going to dry it now, and then we're going to pull it together. Hopefully you'll feel as though it's all done. I'd say that's now done. Let's hold it up. Hopefully you can see. I'm going to turn the light off because I think you'll get a better image. The light shining in from the window. There you go. If I tilt it like that. So that's the finished image. Absolutely adore that. I might actually put this up for sale, or I might keep it. Who knows? It is quite pretty, and I think I would be sad to let that go. Anyway, please do follow, subscribe, like, comment, share, and all those things. I'd really appreciate your support. You'll be watching this, if you're watching this now, obviously you are already a member. Thank you so much for being a member. The full-length videos are in the membership, so I appreciate your support so much. Without your support, I couldn't keep doing these videos. So hope you're having a good day, a good week, a good month. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video.